Hello and welcome. This is Notibot Yenji. I'm your anchor, name, and this is your evening news recap. In a dramatic turn of events, tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate as the war in Ukraine takes a backseat. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced plans to divert weapons to the region, sparking concerns about the future of the conflict. Meanwhile, Iran's military efforts have diverted attention away from Ukraine, and the Strait of Hormuz remains a focal point. Let's take a closer look at these developments and what they mean for global politics. As tensions escalate in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, a shocking suggestion has emerged from a surprise statement by former U.S. President Donald Trump. Ukraine-Russia conflict escalates as Hungary investigates journalist. Hungarian authorities have launched an investigation into a journalist accused of spying for Ukraine, in a move that has sparked concerns over press freedom. Szabolcs Pani, a journalist who has been investigating the government's ties to Moscow, was accused by Viktor Orban's chief of staff of working in collusion with Ukraine. The accusations were made during a briefing on Thursday, with the chief of staff stating that more and more Ukrainian spies are uncovered in the country, and that Pani was the first to be discovered. Pani, who works for the Hungarian news agency MTI, has denied the allegations, stating that he is a loyal Hungarian citizen and that the accusations are baseless. The investigation into Pani's activities has raised concerns among journalists and human rights groups, who fear that the move is an attempt to silence dissenting voices. The incident comes as tensions between Hungary and Ukraine continue to rise, with Hungary's President Viktor Orban being a vocal supporter of Russia. The accusation against Pani also highlights the growing scrutiny of journalists who investigate government ties to Russia. The European Union has previously expressed concerns over the treatment of journalists in Hungary, and this incident has sparked calls for greater action to protect press freedom in the country. The investigation into Pani's activities is ongoing, and he remains at large. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, a different front in Eastern Europe is quietly intensifying, with Russia poised to launch a springtime assault. In a move that has deflected global attention from Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine, the Iran war has continued to escalate over the past week. On Tuesday, Russia launched a massive drone and missile attack on Ukraine, with nearly 1,000 drones and 34 missiles fired in one of the war's largest bombardments. The following day, Ukraine retaliated with an unprecedented overnight attack, launching almost 400 drones in the largest reported assault on Russian regions and Crimea. The conflict in Ukraine has entered its fifth year, with Europe's biggest conflict since World War II showing no signs of easing. The situation remains a major concern, with fears that Moscow's ambitions extend beyond its current borders. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned that Kyiv will face shortages of Patriot air defense missiles, which are crucial to defending against Russian attacks. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has scaled back talks with Russian and Ukrainian delegations, citing the Iran war as a priority. The administration has warned that it may abandon the conflict if peace efforts fail. However, the move has been met with criticism from Ukraine, with Zelensky labeling it not the right decision. The U.S. has also redirected resources from Europe to the Middle East, with American Patriot air defense missiles being moved from Europe to the region. This move has raised concerns about the availability of these systems to defend against Russian attacks. The Iran war has significant implications for global security, and its impact on the conflict in Ukraine will be closely watched in the coming weeks. As tensions continue to rise in the region, a critical gauge of the maritime situation remains steady, despite global concerns about a major shipping choke point. The Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway for global oil and gas supplies, has been effectively closed since the U.S.-Israel war on Iran began 4 weeks ago. The conflict has upended the global energy market, sending energy prices soaring. In normal times, tankers carry about a fifth of the world's oil and gas supplies through the narrow channel, while about a third of the global fertilizers necessary for half of the world's food production pass through in dry bulk vessels. Before the conflict, 138 ships a day were transiting the waterway on average, according to the Joint Maritime Information Center. However, with threats to shipping having effectively closed the strait, many vessels are now taking an alternative route through Iranian waters. This has led to the deaths of several crew members, including the captain and a crew member of the Palau flight Skylight, which was struck off the coast of Oman at the start of the month. The U.S. and Israel have launched a military operation against Iranian forces in the region, with the goal of disrupting the country's oil exports. Iran has responded with missile strikes against U.S. and Israeli targets, and has warned of further retaliation. The situation is complex and volatile, with analysts working on the assumption that it will take months for a normal shipping trading pattern to return. The UN's shipping agency, the International Maritime Organization, has sounded the alarm over the 20,000 seafarers stranded in the Gulf in stressful conditions and facing dwindling supplies. Following a surprise move by the U.S. president, a crucial deadline for Iran's access to the Strait of Hormuz has been extended indefinitely, according to reports. U.S. President Donald Trump has extended the deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway connecting the Middle East to the global economy. The decision comes after a request from Tehran and is seen as a significant development in the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran. The extension, which was announced on Tuesday, is set to last for an additional 10 days. The deadline was initially set to expire on July 1st, but Trump said he was willing to give Iran more time to comply. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical choke point for global oil supplies, with over 20% of the world's oil passing through it. Iran has long been concerned about the strait's security and has threatened to close it if the U.S. reimposes its sanctions. The U.S. has also imposed sanctions on Iran, citing concerns over its nuclear program. The extension of the deadline is seen as a significant development in the crisis and could potentially ease tensions between the two countries. However, it also raises concerns that Iran may use the delay to prepare for a possible attack on the strait. The U.S. and Iran have engaged in a series of escalating exchanges in recent weeks, with both sides accusing each other of aggression. The situation remains highly volatile, and it remains to be seen what the next move will be. Following a surprise announcement from the President of the United States, the U.S. military presence in Iran has reached a pivotal milestone, according to President Trump. Donald Trump has stated that U.S. operations in Iran are extremely ahead of schedule, according to a report by Euronews. The remarks come as tensions between the U.S. and Iran remain high following a series of attacks on U.S. military personnel and interests in the region. Trump's comments were made during a meeting with his advisors, where he reportedly expressed satisfaction with the progress made by U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. The U.S. has been involved in a military campaign in Iraq and Syria since 2014, aimed at defeating the Islamic State group. The operation has involved airstrikes, training, and advising of local forces. Trump's statement suggests that the operation is nearing its conclusion, with the U.S. aiming to withdraw its troops from the region. The significance of Trump's comments lies in their potential implications for the future of U.S. policy in the region. A swift withdrawal of U.S. forces could be seen as a victory for Iran, which has long been critical of U.S. involvement in the Middle East. However, it could also be seen as a strategic miscalculation, given the ongoing instability in the region. The comments have also sparked concerns about the potential consequences for the U.S. and its allies in the region. The U.S. has a number of bases in Iraq and Syria, and a rapid withdrawal could leave them vulnerable to attack. The situation remains fluid, with developments unfolding rapidly in the region. The full extent of Trump's plans for U.S. operations in Iran remains unclear, but his comments have sent a signal that the U.S. is looking to accelerate its withdrawal. As tensions rise in the Middle East, we turn to the latest developments in a move that's sparked international concern and diplomatic efforts. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has defended the country's blocking of vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, stating that it is Tehran's legal right. This move comes as tensions in the region remain high, with the U.S. and Israel accused of lawbreaking and aggression. According to reports, Araghchi made the statement during a call with UN Chief Antonio Guterres. He claimed that the current insecurity in the waterway is a direct result of the actions of the U.S. and Israel, and that curbing the movement of enemy vessels and their allies is a legitimate right for Iran as a coastal state. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital shipping lane, with over 20% of the world's oil passing through it. The region has seen a rise in military tensions in recent months, with the U.S. and its allies imposing sanctions on Iran and increasing their military presence in the area. This move by Iran is seen as a response to the U.S. and Israel's actions, which Tehran claims are part of a broader campaign to undermine its sovereignty. The U.S. and Israel have denied any wrongdoing, but the situation remains volatile. The implications of this move are significant, with potential consequences for global oil supplies and the stability of the region. As the situation continues to unfold, it is clear that the US, Iran, and other regional players are locked in a complex game of diplomatic and military posturing. The world will be watching with interest as this situation develops further. And that's all for today's news recap. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to bring you updates on the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war, as well as developments in the US-Iran conflict. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest news and analysis. We'll keep you informed as the situation unfolds. Until next time, good night, and we'll see you then.